So, once again, a very, very happy New Year to everybody. Very happy New Year. First things first, I want to start off with a couple of little items of business. Things in the trade group are going to change just a little bit with these Monday webinars as well. I've been doing Monday webinars for the public for free. Everybody's open, everybody's invited, everybody can come. I've been doing that for a couple of years. And I have decided that we're going to change the format just a little bit, and there will no longer be free Monday webinars starting later this month. So there's still one or two left free, so attend as many as possible, but they are now going to be included in another layer of some other things that I think are going to be super cool, including weekly webinars on goal setting and motivation and keeping your head clear and making, again, I've just felt such a change over the last couple of months, and January has just hit me like a rock, and I'm so ready for it. I'm so excited about all these things that we have coming up. And so what I want to do is include more, and these Monday webinars are kind of just, I don't want to take something away from you guys, and that's what I definitely don't want to make it seem like I'm just trying to get money out of people. That's not it. What I'm trying to do is include these Monday weekly webinars in something a little bit bigger, and I think they're a little bit too on their own. Just on Mondays. Just Monday, here's what we're looking at for the week. A lot of these trades go really well. We've made tons of pips and tons of money on things that we talk about just on Monday. But what I want to do is I want these Monday webinars to have more follow-through to them. And so I want to include it in a membership that will include some trade calls and that will include some additional charts and include some other things like that. And so the Monday webinars are going to in the coming couple of weeks become part of a membership level of Day Traders FX. Now, I will still do free webinars for non-farm payroll and some of the big news announcements that everybody will be invited to, and I will still be sending out videos a couple of times a week on a cool trade that I think is really going to be awesome, and sending out charts. I'm still going to be offering a lot of things to people that follow me for free. Just for free, because I really do want to share with you guys. But I feel like the Monday webinars are going to be better served as part of a membership, so that what is talked about today can really be followed through throughout the week. So that's coming. Along with all of that, something is changing in the trade group, and for people that are not part of the trade group and people that are part of the trade group, this will be news to everybody. I am in the process of finalizing a bit of a system so that everybody that's in the trade group will have at least one other person to help them out. Now, you're in the trade group and we're all here to help each other, and that's super awesome. But for those that are joining the trade group and those that are already in the trade group, I'm going to make sure that everybody is paired up with another person. This person could be on the other side of the planet. They could be in your same state or country. We're just going to pair people up the best we can, make the best matches, so that everybody can have somebody to kind of report to and keep track of. Almost like, I hate to say it, almost like a sponsor. You're going to have like a sponsor, like this is Alcoholics Anonymous. But you're going to have a sponsor, somebody to kind of help you through some of this stuff and make sure that you're accountable to yourself and accountable to somebody else. I've tried doing this, and it's really exhausting for me, because then I'm I have like 100 people accountable to me on these one-on-one type situations, and I love doing it, but it's more than I can handle. And so I'm going to start pairing people up with just one other trader, and make sure that you guys have each other's contact information. You can call each other, text each other, email each other. You can make it as personal or as kind of professional as it needs to be. And yeah, there you go, Chuck. Hi, Chuck. Welcome. So I just want to make sure that everybody has. I want to make sure that everybody has enough help, and that you're really not slipping through the cracks, and that everybody's getting plenty of attention. Now, the live trade group, we meet every day, and we get plenty of attention. It's but I just really want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. So that's a new change that's happening. And then we're going to do 2 to 4 additional webinars per month that are going to cover goal setting, following through, various types of trading methodologies, as well as some motivation, some inspiration, I've really been working on putting a good routine together. I've got a video on that coming out shortly, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And so we're going to talk about those a couple times a month in nightly webinars, and I think that's going to be hopefully very helpful for everybody and kind of keep you guys on the right track so that we can really accomplish everything that we want to accomplish in 2016 that maybe we didn't get to accomplish in 2015. So yeah, we'll see about that, Chuck. So that's kind of what we're doing. Everybody will be paired up. There's going to be some just life lesson webinars. One thing, I had an interesting thought as I was jogging this morning, and my thought is and was, and this may not be very exciting for you guys, and I'm almost going to apologize in advance for saying it, but I am almost completely unmotivated by money. I have such a lack of motivation by money. Of course, I want to be able to have a comfortable life, and I want to be able to pay my bills, and I want to be able to not stress out about, I don't want to be a hippie. That's not it. And I make plenty of money, and I've made plenty of money for the last many, many years that I've been trading. But it's not my end factor. That's not really what I care about the most. I was thinking about it, and if somebody offered me a large sum of money to do something I didn't want to do, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it because money doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is helping people and bettering myself by bettering other people, or at least giving people some tools to work with so that we can all kind of progress together. Exactly, Simon. Very well said. Money gives you choices and opportunities and so on, but not happiness. So I say all that because I'm not here to get money out of you guys, but I am here to try to provide a good service and a launching area for those that could benefit from a little extra help from a group that has some like-minded goals and some good things in mind that we can all do together, and that we can all be a little bit better together and improve ourselves a little bit more than we could have, and and that kind of thing. So that's really what my goal is, and that's what I want to provide for you guys, and that's why it's one of the reasons Monday webinars are going to be included in something bigger, because I want you guys to be part of something bigger, not just let's make money and forget about it. Let's make money and let's be better people and let's improve our lives and let's do all that. That's what my goal is. So if you guys are on board, we'd love to have you. For those that are not currently members of the group, whatever your membership level is, you can get set up with the group here at daytradersfx.com. daytradersfx.com. So go here, get a free trial set up. You're going to see some of these new things coming into play in the next week and 2 weeks, and how it's all going to be set up. And I will be contacting everybody individually and getting everybody paired up with somebody else and working on a good system there. And so I think that's going to be huge. I think that's going to be so important and so helpful for so many of you. And I'm just really looking forward to some of the stuff we have in play. I'm really excited about talking about some of the goals that I've got personally in place and some of the things I do in my routine and so on. I think it's going to be exciting, and I'm just really looking forward to it. So get a membership set up to the trade group. You can go right to that link right there. There's going to be some slight changes with everything in the coming couple of weeks, but we'll get it all worked out and all figured out. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to spending another year with you. Fantastic people. I really enjoy being with you guys. So anyways, thanks for being here. Let's get talking about some trades. How does that sound? Is anybody along for the ride? Okay, so real quick here, let's just talk this week as far as news goes. You can see we've got another big week, and we finish it off with Canadian and U.S. employment numbers at the end of the week. Now, for that, as always, I'm going to have a live, free webinar for everybody. So you guys can just come and join. Anybody can attend that, and you can join us in our Friday non-farm and Canadian employment numbers. I think that's going to be a big mover. We've got some pretty decent news on Thursday as well, with retail sales and some of the Central Bank of Canada stuff coming out. We've got meeting minutes from the FOMC on Wednesday, and Tuesday's even got a little bit of news. So anyways, there's plenty of news this week. Don't worry about it. There's going to be a lot of activity. We saw a pretty wild start to the U.S. markets today. The Dow was down about 450 points at one point, ended up closing up at 276 points down. So that's kind of confusing to wrap the brain around, but it was a wild first Monday of the year. And in fact, I sent around the article talking about this is the worst year the market has had, worst Monday to start the year off that the market's had in 84 years. So there's a lot of fear with what's going on in China, and it's really spilling over in an interesting way. So that is going to be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. We'll see where all that goes, but that'll be cool. We have had a heck of a fantastic run on the pound yen lately. We started off December with a couple of pound yen trades. We had a 245 pip pound yen trade and a 425 pip pound yen trade, all kind of in the same area there. That was huge. Then we had a couple other nice trades on Aussie yen and some of these other ones. And we've had some really great trades all the way across the board. But the pound yen, we had hundreds of pips in the pound yen in the first part of December. And then we got into another pound yen trade in late December, about the 22nd, which we were able to run for at least 400 pips. So altogether on the pound yen, we've made well over 1,000 pips on the pound yen in the last month. Not including other trades that we've taken. That's just the pound yen alone, and it has been glorious, and I'm super down with it. I think it's crazy awesome. Here was the pound yen, that's right, boom! Here was the pound yen trade we took. We have a huge head and shoulders pattern on the weekly chart right here. We got in, we had a couple of entries. We had entries at the break of 18500. That was kind of our earlier stuff. Going into the earlier part of December. And then we got back in as it broke this low here, this 180.30, kind of 30.35 area, and we got in on a little bit of a pullback there, and we rode this down to about 175.00, 175.50. And it is just going like gangbusters. This pound yen is going crazy. So we just, we made basically two 400 pip chunks plus a little bit more. And I don't think it's done yet. That's the best part. So I think we've still got some pound yen activity in the works because now we've got this huge head and shoulders pattern that is just down to the next support level. So 17500, you can count on the fact that if 17500 breaks, I'm going to be in short again below 17500. Ideally, I would like to get in on a little bit of a pullback. If we got some decent pullback, like a couple hundred pips, I would, I feel like this is like a chicken cooker kind of a, boom, set it and forget it. That's fantastic. So if this thing pulls back a little bit, I am definitely going to jump into this. I don't know at what price, honestly. If it pulled back to some big resistance up here around the 180, I would get in there. But I don't think it's going to pull back that far. If it does, though, I'll be ready to jump into it there. However, I'm definitely going to be ready to jump into it at the break of 17500. Look at this right here. We hit and hit, had a heck of a time with 17500, then hit these points again, and here we are again. This is an awesome trade, and we're out once again with over 1,000 pips. And we're going to be jumping back into this thing with the next opportunity, which will probably be a couple of days from now. But you never know. Could be tonight. We'll see how that goes. I like a lot of the yen pairs. I think there's some good yen opportunities in a lot of these. Particularly, I like euro yen as well. We've talked about the euro yen and some of the stuff that this thing's been doing. And so I'm keeping my eye on euro yen, and we'll talk more about that. But pound yen is kind of my main focus, and I think we're going to have some really, really fantastic opportunities there. Now, what I want to focus on is really only two pairs. I just want to focus on two pairs. I'm not totally dive bombing into some of the Aussie pairs yet. We've seen some pretty big breaks on Aussie dollar. It's still coming short of the 200 moving average. It keeps getting close, but it's not there. A lot of chop, a lot of craziness. New Zealand dollar's moving around a bit as well off this double top. These are all things that we'll explore and we'll dig into more as the week goes on. But really where my main big interest is, and it so happens that these 2 points are going to be very interesting as the end of the week comes with employment numbers from Canada and employment numbers from the US. I'm watching this big level right here. Remember on the Canadian dollar, I got to go to the monthly chart here. On the Canadian dollar versus the U.S. dollar, we're going all the way back to the high of 2004. I think it's 2004, 2003, 2004. So we're all the way back to that high of 2004, which is all the way up at 140. The Canadian dollar doesn't look like it's totally overspent, totally just way out of whack. But it's getting pretty darn close. The indicator over here is getting pretty extended. The daily chart is starting to give us some pretty excellent numbers. The 4-hour chart is giving us some pretty fantastic numbers, some out of this world numbers, pretty much. And so what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for a setup for this double top to hold right here. So we've got this big 140, which goes back, remember, 12 years. So 140 goes back 12 years. And it's also just been a very nice short-term level over the last couple of weeks. It keeps bumping up against that and doesn't seem to want to be able to break just yet. So if it does break, if the dollar CAD gets above 140, then I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it for maybe 100 to 200 pips if it breaks 140. Like if we get to like 140.10, I'm going to be buying dollar CAD and getting into that. If, however, it doesn't seem to be able to hold, it does seem to be able to hold, and it doesn't break above that 140, then I'm going to be looking. It's had a couple of stabs at making, some runs at it and bouncing off. I'm not a huge fan most of the time of trading bounces. I don't love doing that because it's risky and it's crazy, and I just don't love to do it. Some people have some really great success with it. I don't. And so what I'm going to make sure that happens here, I'm going to make sure that it holds this 140, and I'm going to look for some short-term trend lines I can draw in here, wherever they may be. This one's pretty choppy right now, so we'll see how it plays out, and I think this is pretty premature, but just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to do something like this and watch this as it starts to kind of bounce up these levels and just extend this trend line out and see first of all how the market reacts to this trend line. If it reacts fairly well and seems to be holding on to things fairly well, fantastic. I'll trade the break of that trend line and consider that a nice bounce of that high and look for opportunities to start shorting this back down with stops above 140. But again, if it breaks that 140, then I'm long. So kind of a nice buy and sell idea. If it holds this double top, let's sell it. Let's get a nice little confirmation and let's sell it on the way back down. If it breaks this double top, then I'm going to be buying the break and trading it higher. So I think there's two really good trading opportunities coming up on the dollar CAD. So I'm super interested in this one, and I think it's going to be excellent. My other one, I'm liking all these other guys, dollar Swiss franc and pound dollar and so on and so on. I think they're all fantastic. And I think the pound dollar is going to have some nice opportunities coming up here as well. It's starting to pick up some decent momentum, and it's staying pretty nicely below the 150 area. I think that it's going to be pretty hard, though, to not put a lot of attention on the euro dollar. And I know these are pairs that just, why would we trade the dollar CAD? It's wild and crazy. Why would we trade the euro dollar? It's boring and slow. I think these are going to be the two most important movers. Two of the most important, not the two most important, because there's a lot of pairs that are going to move well, but I think these are going to be two excellent movers over the course of this week, and I think they've got some pretty fantastic profit potential for us. You can see that the euro dollar has had an interesting move. We were tracking this rising wedge. It broke out, made a nice little move here, and it's had a very interesting reaction at 10800. It keeps hitting 10800, hitting. Remember, this was this huge bull flag that we had right here. The central bank, European central bank right here said, things aren't as bad in Europe as we think, or as we've been talking about, whatever. And the euro, over the course of a couple of hours, ran up 400 plus pips, which was a huge move for the euro. And then it's just been consolidating up here. So I'm going to be looking for this to get back down below 10800. If it gets back below 10800, I'm short. I'm totally short. But I'm going to watch and see how it holds and see how it plays out right here and kind of see where it goes. And as long as it holds pretty steady, and we can get a nice little break, I think we'll have a lot of momentum to take this down into 10600. I think 10600 is a pretty safe, pretty easy bet. Nice little 200 pip trade. Looks fantastic. Now, I'm never too set on anything, and I'm also open to the idea that the euro dollar could actually be holding 10800, and that it took its stab at it right here, wasn't able to close below it, just hit it, pounded through a couple of pips, and it's right back up again. I'll be open to a bounce off 10800 with some sort of consolidation and some breaks higher and so on. I'll be open to that. I'll trade that if that's what it comes to. But ultimately, I think our best bet is going to be watching for a break of that 10800 and trading it down for 200 pips. So I think we could have, if we get a break higher on dollar CAD, we could have 1 to 200 pip, pretty easy trade up on that one this week, which, if you're trading at the smallest lot size of a mini account, not a micro account, but a mini account, maybe $1 to $200 this week on that one. And euro dollar, if euro dollar breaks, hopefully we can get about $200 out of that one, just trading small trade sizes, $1 a pip. Now, if you're trading a slightly larger account, there could be several hundred to a few $1,000s in profit this week if just these two trades go and do what they look like they're going to do. Again, I think we've got 1 to 200 pips on the break up on dollar CAD, and likewise, I think we've possibly got 1 to 200 pips if it holds that double top and starts coming back down. So there's really two good opportunities there. And then euro dollar, I'm not as excited about the buying opportunity, although I'll be open to it and I'll be looking for some things to trade there. I'm definitely much more excited about the selling opportunity in the break of 10800. So that's what I'm looking at on those pairs. And of course, as I mentioned, we are absolutely going to be tracking the pound yen and looking for another entry on that one at the break of 17500 or in a good area to sell a nice pullback. So I think it looks awesome. I'm super excited. I think we've got some really fantastic trades in the works, and I'm looking forward to them. So that's what I'm looking at right now. What do you guys think? Questions, comments? What are you trading? Do you have any questions about any other currency pairs that I didn't mention or the currency pairs that I did mention? What do you guys think about that?